Hey guys, so initially I was going to do a new moon meditation. I have got allergies going on and I'm not feeling so great. So instead I decided to make this video for you. I know it's not quite the same and I do apologize. I'm just not feeling 100% up to par. So I'm going to rest, but I am going to pull some cards for you guys on this new moon in Leo. So happy new moon in Leo for anyone that's joining in. Please have a look around. I've got several videos on twin flames, divine masculine messages, and some channeled messages as well. We'll get started in just a moment, guys. Hope everyone's doing really well. And I hope you're feeling the positivity that's really coming from this new moon in Leo. We've been building up now for probably about a week. Some people may have felt it for just a few days and others may have felt it for the past 2 or 3 weeks. Really depends on your own individual journey. And what else do I want to say? Oh, you guys, I wanted to just make a quick announcement. For those of you who are looking to book readings with me, I'm now almost booked up for next week, the week of the 24th. So if you do want a reading, I have about 4 spots left for next week, and then I'll be booking the following week. And I may be taking a break some point in December. I'm going to be taking either a couple days or a week off, but I'm offering my North Node readings. It was written in the stars. That is the reading that talks all about your soul's path, your soul's purpose, your karmic journeys, your karmic lessons in this lifetime, as well as the gifts in this lifetime. It's a channeled message. It's intuitive. I also pull cards, and it's also an astrological reading. So it's an all-in-one. It's really, really inclusive, and it's very detailed. I'm also offering, of course, regular twin flame readings, and now I'm offering channeled messages from your divine masculine or divine feminine, and I think that's it. So let's get started. Okay, let's go ahead and call in Archangel Michael to protect us on this new moon in Leo. Archangel Michael, please protect this space, please protect this room, please protect these cards, this reading, everyone watching, and please protect us on our journeys with our twin flames. Please protect our counterparts as well for whatever they may be going through and purging at this time. And for any ascended masters that want to come in to this reading, and just anyone who's watching, just be able to pick up on the vibrations of love and harmony, peace, abundance, joy, and your soul and in your heart. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the Mermaid cards. This was a deck that I wasn't initially really connecting with, so I've been really trying to include them in my readings so that I start to really connect with them on a deeper level. Because I found that if you don't initially connect right off the bat with cards, the best way to do that is really just to continue working with them. So that's what I'm doing with the Mermaid cards. I'm going to continue working with them, and I'm starting to warm up to them. So I will say that. And I did pull a couple cards yesterday and I posted in the community tab. So you guys, you're really missing out. If you're not following in the community tab, you're really missing out because I do post there quite regularly, especially when I'm unable to post an actual video. Time out. Perfect. This is really the perfect message to receive on the eve of the new moon or the day of the new moon, depending on where you are in the world. So we have awareness, contemplation, solitude, time alone, and we have seahorse energy. Now, seahorse is interesting, guys, because the males are the ones who carry the babies, okay? So I find this very interesting. I feel like the masculines are in the feminine energy. And that's not to say that the feminines are also in feminine energy or in masculine energy. You could be in either or. I know that I'm back in my feminine receptive energy myself after having been in masculine energy for so long, for far too long. For the majority of this year, I stepped into masculine energy as a form of protection when I had the falling out with my divine masculine earlier this year. But I'm back in my feminine energy. However, I do feel like the divine masculines are currently they're in the 6 of Cups energy, really reminiscing on the past, reminiscing what was, what could have been with their divine feminine. So I feel a lot of sorrow actually coming up on this new moon in Leo for the divine masculines, a lot of contemplation. You know, they're taking a time out, and if they're surrounded by karmic influences, karmic partners, family, etc., or if they're working, you know, whatever it is that they're doing today, they're finding solitude. They're going out and taking a walk. They're having a moment in the shower, where they're just sort of contemplating, letting the water run down on their heads, and maybe having even a meditation moment with the water in the shower. They're having moments where they're listening to music, really soft music, and just remembering and reflecting on those moments with their divine feminine where they felt safe and loved and protected, and they felt understood and heard and seen. And this is really coming up strongly for the divine masculines, guys. And they're realizing their place in the world, and they're realizing that they are divine, and that they no longer belong in these situations that they've stayed in for many of them far too long, or just situations maybe that they've gotten themselves in recently for some of you, because every story is different. Every journey is unique on this twin flame journey. But the divine masculines it's beyond them not being happy in the situation. Their soul is yearning for a tremendous change, and their soul can no longer stay where they are. And you guys remember being in that place as divine feminines where there was a point in your life where you just said, I can no longer do this. I can no longer stay in this place where I'm not understood, where I'm not seen, where I'm not valued, where I'm not respected. And they're tired of feeling lonely. And for many of them, the only time in their life where they've really felt understood and not alone was when they were with their counterpart, when they spent those, stolen moments with you. And I say stolen moments because for many, they do have karmic partners. And then for others, it's just that their jobs consumed them, or other karmic influences, addictions, etc., got in the way of your connection. So whatever was the obstacle in your connection, please understand that those things are being worked on. And it's not just the divine that's working on this. The divine masculines are really starting to understand that it's time for a change. And they're sort of just catching their breath while they decide what's next. So let's pull another card for the divine masculines. Divine masculines. And of course, the timeout applies to divine feminines too. The new moons are always a time to, set intentions, but also get your rest and reflect on what will be, what's coming, what has been. Oh, sacrifice, divine masculine. There are those worth making. There are those that will destroy you. Wow. Divine masculine. You're asking yourself, you're contemplating, has it been worth it? I have chosen other pathways. I have chosen other people. I have chosen my job. I have chosen addictions. I have chosen to turn my back on the one person that loved me unconditionally, that I knew would always be there for me. And divine masculine is really, really reflecting, guys. With timeout and sacrifice coming out together, they're realizing that the sacrifices they've made have been made for people that didn't appreciate what they did. So I remember my divine masculine saying to me, I can't be selfish now, Sarah. I have to, I just can't be selfish right now. I can't do things for myself. And I was like, what? You should only and ever be doing things for yourself. You come first. And that's not selfish. That's self-care and self-love, and that's boundaries. If you're not happy in a situation, why are you there? I could not wrap my head around this idea of staying somewhere that made you miserable, that made you feel lonely, that made you feel disrespected as a man, that made you feel less than, not heard, not seen, not valued, and not respected for who you truly were, not for your money, not for what you could offer somebody, but for who you truly were. And honestly, for the divine feminines or divine masculines watching, because sometimes the roles are reversed and the divine feminine is the one running or the one with karmic partners, I feel like all we've ever wanted is the time of our counterpart. We didn't want their money. We didn't want their accolades. We didn't care about any of those things. All we wanted was to spend time with them, to giggle, to laugh, to have adventures with them, and to build a life with them. And it didn't matter how much money there was. It didn't matter if we were a part of high society or not. It didn't matter if we belonged to the country club. It didn't matter. None of those things mattered to us. And we tried to tell our partners, our counterparts, these things don't matter. But the divine masculine or divine feminine, and whatever the case is for you, couldn't hear that and just didn't understand how someone could love them just for them. Because they've always attracted partners who used them in some way and who needed something from them. And the divine feminine comes and says, I don't need anything from you. I will create for myself. I want you, but I don't need you. And divine masculine was curious and at the same time fearful of this, because he knew, or she knew, that the divine feminine is the one person that could truly hurt them by leaving them. The karmic partner can't hurt them and can't touch them because they're not truly in love with the karmic partner. It's not a romantic love. If anything, it's a brother-sister love. It's a love because you're the mother or father of my children. It's a friendship love, but it's not a true romantic, deeply bonded love. And so the divine feminine is the one person that could truly hurt him or her. So the divine masculine's realizing they've made sacrifices for people that are unappreciative, and some of these people and some of these reasons are evil. This card is a darker influence. This card is darker vibrations, darker energies. There are things that have threatened to destroy divine masculine. And they're realizing now that if I don't take this time out and I don't nurture myself and figure out what it is, who am I, what do I want, what truly is going to make me happy and fulfill me in this lifetime, there's going to be dire consequences. This is involving the divine masculine's health, involving their emotional state, involving their ability to see clearly, to think for themselves. So divine masculine's realizing the one sacrifice that was worth making was making the changes to come towards their divine feminine, but they chose the other path. They chose the one that threatened to destroy them. And I feel like a lot of them are regretful, even though they're not showing that in the 3D at all. They're regretful of the way they treated divine feminine. Experiments, manipulations of nature, forcing change, cruelty, and the pursuit of knowledge and arrogance. Okay, so I'm picking up on, you guys know I don't like to talk about this much in my readings, but I'm picking up on some negative entities and darker forces that are threatening some of these connections and some of these divine masculines. The karmic influences in divine masculine's life are really at the forefront of the divine masculine's experience right now. I'm actually going to take a look at the book because I want to see what they have to say about this particular card. I don't really like the looks of it, to be honest. This is also talking on a grander scale about what's going on with humanity in terms of the manipulation through media, okay, through the news outlets, the wavelengths and frequencies we've been exposed to through movies, through TV, through commercials, through the news in particular, guys, the news. It's not truth, and our minds have been manipulated. And they've tried to force us not only to be sheeple and to do as they say, but also to follow the path of others, not be a leader. And so this is speaking to a higher fight that both counterparts are fighting at this time. So not only is divine masculine dealing with, the karmic influences and sacrifices that they feel they've made in their life to get to where they are, and now they're realizing those sacrifices didn't mean as much as they thought. They're not appreciated. They're lonely, and they say, well, how could my divine feminine love me now? I turned my back on them, and now I'm going to come back and say I was wrong. Well, how am I going to be perceived? They're going to have to apologize and explain themselves and say, I realized that I'd made the wrong choice in turning my back on you, divine feminine. But in the meantime, I feel like because divine masculines have volunteered to stay back in the 3D world, divine masculines have been subjected to more of this energy. So divine feminine, now than ever, it's important that you protect your energy, protect your space, and also send protection to your divine masculine. This is not the time to be angry. This is not the time to blame your divine masculine. This is really a time for us all to come together, especially as twin flames, and forget what's going on in the 3D. Seriously, just disregard the 3D. There's a much bigger war at play now, and this is concerning the evolution of humanity and the uplifting of human consciousness. So understand that we are all part of the problem. We are all part of the solution. And it's time to take your power back, twin flames and light workers of the world. And it's time to understand that in the leaders of the world and the powers that be have not had our best interests at heart. So there's a lot more I could say about that, but again, that's not really what this channel is about, unless that's something you guys really want me to start discussing. But the cards are coming up, so I have to say what I'm being shown. This card also talks about, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit because we have Lemuria coming up here and the next card. So the experiments card talks also about, it says, we are concerned. We are concerned that we are seeing the errors of pride, hubris, arrogance repeating themselves in this time. We are concerned that the terrible experiments that occurred in Atlantis, where Lemurians were modified against their will, are being repeated. We are concerned. And then we have Atlantis here, so that's interesting. Okay, so this is talking about those of you in particular that feel like you have roots in Atlantis and Lemuria. You know, this Atlantis was a city that fell prey to these negative entities and negative forces. And Lemurians, and you will feel this in your bones, and there's a lot of past lifetime energies that are coming up to be healed right now. So you'll feel this, and you'll know if you spend time in Atlantis, if you were Lemurian or if you are Lemurian, and you'll feel that there was mutations that occurs. There was things that were happening against your will. And so this is saying take your power back, and there's healing being done in the dream state. There's healing being done in the 5D. Divine masculines are starting to realize that they are star seeds, that they are light workers. And my divine masculine, I've said this several times because I know now that he's eating his words in some way, but he said, I will never be part of a collective. And I just chuckled sitting there looking at him saying, you have no idea who you are. You are so powerful. You are so incredibly courageous. You are a warrior. He is such an incredible old soul. And I just laughed because he was fighting it. And I said, I'm just going to let him fight it, because you can't fight who you are. You can't fight your truth. There comes a point where you're going to fall down and pray to God or the universe or your higher power to please give you mercy, because you don't want to live this inauthentic life any longer. And I'm just waiting for that phone call where he says, I've been living an inauthentic life and you are the only authentic part of it. And I realize now that I made the wrong choice. And I'm saying this because I expect this, not in a form of, oh, you have to do this, or I just expect it to happen because I know what I went through in my own awakening. And I know many of you are expecting that as well, like expecting in excitement. You're excited to receive that call. You're excited to have that conversation. I can't wait to be there for him and say, I know, my love. I was there. I experienced that. I know what it's like, and it's scary, and it tears down everything that wasn't you. But we're being reborn again, and we're being reminded of the horrors that happened to us in past lifetimes. So there's a lot of past lifetime healing going on at this time. And we want to make sure that we are in this together. And we want to make sure that we take back our power, that we can no longer be enslaved, mentally enslaved, okay? Guys, really keep in mind that your health is not just going to the gym. It's what you put into your body, GMO food, it's organic food, it's living foods, fruits, vegetables, sprouts, etc. Spirulina is an incredible, amazing food for the body, raw spirulina. It's what you consume with the news, with the media, with what you put into your ears, what you put into your mouth, what you put into your body, what you put into your mind. All of these things matter. So keep this in mind. And this is not the direction, guys, that I expected this reading to go, but clearly it's what wants to come out. So I'm not going to take all those cards. I don't know how many. Okay, actually I will. So let's channel some cards for the divine feminine. Divine feminine, with all of this happening around your divine masculine and collectively, you're being asked to stay present. You're being asked to really own the present moment and the gifts that are accrued by really being present, okay, for yourself, for your masculine, for the world. Wave of power, a surge of power, uprising energy. So a lot of you have been feeling this exhilarating energy. Notice how the energies are very different right now for the masculine and feminine energies. Again, both internally. I've channeled the energies both internally and externally. So your internal divine masculine is going through a lot right now, as well as your external, right, physical manifestation of the divine masculine. This is about this, what you've been feeling, that movement is going to happen. But then Spirit says, but stay in the present moment. But there's a part of you that says, I just want to jump forward into the future, into 2021 and 2022, when I'm in union with my counterpart. And I know that this is happening, and I feel this change, and I feel this shift on the earth. And those of you who don't know about August 27th, there's an incredible shift that's occurring where more and more people have been waking up, and there's going to be a light switch that's flipped on August 27th. So if you haven't heard about that, guys, check that out. Google that. I'm sure there's incredible videos about that. And understand that you can no longer be asleep. And divine masculine can no longer be asleep. They are awake. I've been saying this for a long time. I don't have confirmation of that in my 3D world because most of this year I haven't been in contact with my divine masculine except for a few texts here and there. But I'm telling you that they are awake. They are woke, they're awake, they're in their power, they're sorting things out in the 3D, okay? They're holding things down. They agreed to stay back in the 3D to protect the divine feminine and to ensure that she was able to go forward with her work in the 5D, that she was able to move forward, and she was going to basically set up camp. Divine feminines have been setting up camp spiritually, if you will, so that the divine masculines can join them. But we have to move forward without them. And that's been challenging for divine feminines because it's scary to leave your counterpart behind. You've searched for this person your entire life. I remember feeling and knowing intuitively when I was 5 that not only did I want to get married and have kids, but I also wanted, I knew that there was somebody out there. I knew there was this person that was going to turn my world upside down. I felt it in my core. I felt it in my bones. And many of you have experienced that and felt that way too. My divine masculine admitted that he felt that. He told me, I felt that. I knew you existed. We've been searching for each other for lifetimes. We're making up in this lifetime for past lifetimes where we weren't able to be together or where one of us was taken from the other. There's a lot of healing being done. There's the healing of our Atlantean, Lemurian roots and seeds, and there's a healing of us being manipulated against our will. We are not allowing that. We are not going to just be vaccinated. We're not just going to walk into a doctor's office and say, here, give me the vaccination. I'll wear the mask. I'll do this. I'll do whatever you say. No, we are putting up a fight. Okay, stop child sex trafficking. Look at the celebrities. Look at the truth. The Rockefellers. Look at the truth of what's going on in the world and who's been the leaders of the world, and look at the truth behind it, guys. Wake up. Take the blindfolds off, okay? We have to think for ourselves. Get your oxygen. Take the mask off. I'm telling you, there are so many things. People are blindly following what they're told to do because the media says so. And we need to think for ourselves. Do not allow yourself to be a part of the project. We are the leaders. We are the ones that are going to say, no, you're not injecting that into me. In some of the vaccinations, they use animal or human DNA. Think about that for a minute. And there are people wearing masks to protect themselves against the virus that they're later going to inject themselves with in a vaccine. Does this make any sense at all? So we have to wake up and think about this, guys. This is not at all where I wanted this video to go, but this is where Spirit is leading this to go. So you can always tune in, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but I have to start speaking up about these things because this is part of what we're here to do. It's not just, oh, this romantic fairy tale. There's so much more to it. We are being pressed to take a stand against the things that are not okay, that have never been okay, and we are going to put an end for it once and for all. So we have time and tide, divine feminine, Oceanic spells and rituals. Right, we have a new moon ritual occurring today. So new moon celebrations, new moon symbolizes new beginnings. If you guys are still watching 24 minutes and 35 seconds in, I am offering new moon readings as well and Lionsgate readings. Those energies are good for up to 6 months. So even if you get your reading next week or the week thereafter, it doesn't matter. It's what is coming in for you, what this new moon represents in terms of your self-worth, in terms of your growth, in terms of your ascension and evolution process. Leo energy is so potent because it's fueled by the sun and it symbolizes strength. And also it's pride. It's your ability to feel comfortable being seen on stage and your ability to feel comfortable in your own skin as who you truly are authentically. It's really powerful. Besides this new moon in Scorpio, which is the new moon of my sign, I feel like this, and of course, you're going to feel like that's most powerful for you, whatever your sign is, the new moon in that sign. But this is the second most powerful new moon, as far as I'm concerned, is the Leo new moon. I've always felt its potency. Maybe that's because my Mars is in Leo. Maybe that's because you might have other placements in Leo, your North Node, your South Node, your rising, etc. But if you have Leo in your chart, guys, this is going to be very potent, in particular for Leo suns and Leo North Nodes. So time and tide. Divine Feminine is really holding down the fort with her manifestation powers via meditation, via dancing, via yoga, via the food that she consumes, and really spending time in solitude and spending time just quietly observing is what I'm hearing. Divine Feminine sort of stepping back, observing the situation, observing the Divine Masculine in the 5D. But she's not really chasing and she's not really actively seeking out the Divine Masculine anymore. She's just sort of allowed herself to surrender. So you have the gift, Divine Feminine, of being able to see into the future and seeing possibilities, okay? Knowing what the destined path is and what's going to be revealed on that path. So it's like you can see into the ripples of the water to see this is what is going to happen. You know, or look into a magic 8-ball and this is what's going to appear. So as you teach yourself, as you really sit with yourself more and more and get comfortable with your powers, more and more is going to be revealed to you, Divine Feminine. More and more is going to come to the surface and is going to allow you to be that teacher that you came here to be for others. Let's check in with the Divine Feminine Goddess, and which Divine Feminine Goddess is with the Divine Feminines at this time. Perpetua, the saint of authenticity. I am my authentic self in all circumstances. Right, so Divine Feminine learning to be authentic and teaching and showing her masculine the way to authenticity. Ariadne, the mistress of the labyrinth. My soul knows the way and the only way out is through. This is Divine Feminine saying, I realize that I can no longer just hop off this journey whenever I want to. I realize this is a journey of heart and soul, that I committed to this journey before this incarnation, that my counterpart is relying on me and that I'm relying on them to help me get through this journey. I have a duty to fulfill to humanity, to this planet, and to my counterpart. So I accept this and I realize that I'm going to walk through the fires and come out the phoenix rising on the other side. So Divine Feminine, you're no longer in this energy of just deciding, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to, like, this is too much work. No, Divine Feminine is saying, I accept this journey. I accept everything that's being put on my path. I understand that it's part of my growth and that it's going to assist me in assisting the ascension of Earth. You're no longer fighting this journey like you may have been in the past, Divine Feminine. Can we have a card for the masculines, please? Okay, card for the feminines. Masculines, Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. Yes, Divine Masculine is inhabiting the Divine Feminine energy quite beautifully at this time. He feels grace. He feels the love. He's re-experiencing the love in this connection and he's re-experiencing the connection to his divine feminine. So many divine feminines have been feeling the masculine coming through quite strongly. You've been feeling the love. You've been re-experiencing some of those initial moments with your masculine. You've been feeling in your heart the pitter-patter. Your soul knows the way, and your soul is drawing your counterpart back into you and vice versa. So you can no longer push this away, divine feminine, and your counterpart isn't trying to push this away either. You're accepting this journey for what it is, and the divine masculine's feeling inspired to find his way back to you in the dark. He truly is. I've been feeling this for days. Divine feminine, Odin, psychic insight. So your intuition powers are high. They're heightened right now with this new moon. I'm not surprised to see this. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is. Follow your intuition. So simply follow your intuition in regards to this connection, and follow your intuition in regards to your union and what your next step is, divine feminine. Your masculine, you're leading the way for the masculine, and because you're in your power and you're really stepping into it so gracefully, your divine masculine's able to more gracefully execute what he needs to execute in the 3D. So for the connection, not surprised to see Gaia, we have Earth connection. Be mindful of the planet, come back to Earth and stay grounded. Yes, we have Earth healing going on at this time, guys. It's intense. It's necessary. Earth is going through a purging and a reassessment, just like we are in our own lives, collectively, and in the twin flame community. So guys, keep doing what you're doing. Keep your inspiration levels high. Keep being guided by your 3D, by your third eye, okay, by your drishti, and keep ignoring the 3D in terms of your connection. Don't focus on what you don't want. If your divine masculine, for instance, is married, if your divine masculine is married to their job, married to a karmic partner, or tells you they can't be in a relationship with you because of culture or religion, ignore that. Keep affirming what it is that you want. Keep standing in your power. Keep knowing the truth of this connection, which exists in the heart and not in the mind. Stop focusing on what it is. Oh, well, Sarah, my divine masculine this, my divine masculine this, Don't even concern yourselves with that. Just focus on your job and what you need to do at this time, and realize that we have a much bigger war that's being waged on the planet right now that needs our attention. Your divine masculines are doing their job. Stop speaking into existence that they're not, because they are. They're doing everything possible in the 3D while we hold it down in the 5D. Send them love, send them support, send them inspiration, connect with them in the 5D, and then go about your day. So release the expectation of communication, release the expectation of them coming forward tomorrow, release the expectation of anything, and just continue to stay present, because that's where the power is. Sending you guys so much love and so much strength on this new moon in Leo. Many, many blessings of abundance, joy, and comfort and balance. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take good care.